Just gotta focus on yourself out here, y'all. Pay too much to the competition. Don't worry about what other people doing. Gotta trust your process. Worry about yourself, like I'm saying, man. Bigger than me, bigger than you. You know what I mean? If you know what you gotta do, then do it. You always making excuses, we ain't got time for no excuses. You gotta get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't worry about that negativity, suggestions. Fuck all that shit, my nigga. Yeah.
No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. Yeah. Still watching for clones, but they all over the globe. Probably why I say whoa. Young nigga never made money from stoves, but went hard with the zones. Me and Henny broke it down way before. Now we killing shows, just act like you know. Whoa. Got a new bitch from the bottom. Still never change out my niggas from potters. Honest, I've been feeling golly. You get in my way, then you leave me no option. Niggas thinking this a race, till we put them in they place. Leave they family with a ghost, then we pull off in a race. Competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you.
It's no competition. You niggas be lying about how you be feeling, saying you Jordan, you not even Pippen. Or Rodman when he was with Pistons. You blondie, you lying about all of your visions. Your paper be short like some midgets. I used to step out and just worry about digits, and now I just focus my visions. I had to distance myself from some people, cause they just be holding you back. I wasted some time, I never get back. Like why I do that? You niggas be bitching, it's just to be seen and put on the map. I only know some niggas who know how to spin up a check and get it right back.
No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell the homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous, and you niggas mad as shit, but it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell the homies stop gassing you before we pull up and embarrass you. No competition.
Gamer boy, gamer boy, gamer boy, gamer boy.
Zach. Just gotta focus on yourself out here, y'all. Pay too much to the competition. Don't worry about what other people doing. Gotta trust your process. Worry about yourself, like I'm saying, man. Bigger than me, bigger than you. You know what I mean? If you know what you gotta do, then do it. You always making excuses, we ain't got time for no excuses. You gotta get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody hold you back.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the look that drives the girls wild. I got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Sal and Rebekah are not ready for the beatdown that is about to take place on the Blackout. And I promise you don't want to miss it. Let's do this. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. That mic flip though.
Hands off the merchandise. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Welcome, welcome everybody to another edition of The Blackout. I am your host with the most all the way from the East Coast. And as always, folks, I am in airplane mode, and I am joined by the biggest, baddest ass kicker I could find on YouTube. I put out an application on the interwebs. I said, I need somebody. They gotta be like 6 foot, 100 inches tall, 209,000 pounds, just built of solid muscle, because this is where Christianity goes to die. I am joined by Robert fucking Reed. Oh my goodness, it is going down today. It is going
What's
down.
going on?
How you doing, Uncle Bobby?
Doing good.
Now
Good
look,
to be back.
we got
I missed these.
We have some serious business to get into today. So before we get into the rotted meat of today's sandwich, I gotta figure out what's going on with my screen. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the juju correctly. There's like a whole bunch of screen magic that I didn't perform. Now I don't know where anything is. Now the show's ruined. You know how it goes. All right, folks.
I do.
Look, before we go ahead and get into today's show, let's go ahead and get into our communion. Y'all already know the drill. If you don't, act like you do, because it's getting pretty embarrassing. Please raise your glasses and hold on to your asses. Through him, with him, in the unity of the flying man. All glory and honor is yours, who flied for our sins forever and ever. You may drink.
All right.
right, that was our communion theme. And let's get the good vibes going with a little where everybody knows your name. Because trust me, after this, the fun times are going to be over.
And he's going to play us out. For you're going to play what to finish us up?
Do you know what? I don't know the name of this song, actually, but I know the song, and so will you.
Oh, look forward to this. 5 hands, take it away. Take it away.
All right, let's go through the chat. I got Lena first.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away?
All right, I got to look at the trees second.
Sometimes
check out his videos, link in the description.
Where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see,
and Paulie B
troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Well, all those nights when you got no lights and the check is in the mail, and your
all right, I got Lena. Look at the trees. Crystal, Randy, Caterpillar, Todd on
you said
high.
fiance didn't show.
Crystal's here. Trees. I'm repeating names. YouTube Punk.
Well, sometimes you wanna go where
AR's in the
everybody
house.
knows
Jenny
your
Truth's in the
name.
house. None Believers
And you're
here.
always glad they came.
Holy Shift is here. Good to see you, Sames of the Helper.
You wanna be where you can see, troubles are all the same.
All right.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Well, you get out of bed and the coffee's dead. The morning isn't looking bright. You shrink right off to Europe and he doesn't even write. Your girlfriend says she's not a girl. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see, troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. You wanna be where you can see, troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
All right. Awesome.
Most common word coming in by text, boy, is goose.
All right, gang. Thank you guys so much. We're so glad you're here. Man, it is time to get down to the throwdown. The tag team matchup of the century. I am talking about Uncle Bobby and Cousin Jay versus Sal Cordova and Rebekah Davis. Now, to warm up for this bout, these fools have literally dropped a video. And gang, I find it unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. That God made a crippled woman into a beauty queen. Y'all, I gotta tell you, this sounds like a story that is too good to be true. It sounds so amazing. I gotta say, I think it's unbelievable.
I think it sounds like it's sitting on some bullshit. it's there's a beauty in that story, and I get that. You know, someone with, you know, a bad leg, an amputation, whatever the case may be, and okay, fine. Then that's in the same vein as I actually knew somebody. She was, let's say, $1,000 short, you know, for a trip, whatever the hell it was, and quite literally, like a long lost uncle died and left her $1,000 on the nose. And I remember she telling me,
wow,
Robert, that was God. And I was like, you can't be serious. And I was like, hold on. You were $1,000 short on an airline ticket for a mission trip.
Right.
And God giving you $1,000. That's a sign of God.
He murked your uncle.
Right. So it's like, well, okay. So the mindset is, so you're going to go to Africa and give kids fresh water and stuff like that. But your uncle had to die and you had to get $1,000. Or God could just say, hey, Africa, have some fresh water.
Right. Or here's $1,000.
Yeah, here's the arrogance of that kind of mindset. Okay, a lady who, let's say, is wheelchair bound or something, and it's like, yeah, it's beautiful. Now she gets to be on a stage doing beauty shows. I get how that can be a beautiful story, but then you're just like, again, right now, someone just got the diagnosis that they've got stage 94 full body cancer,
right? And
you're going to die a horrific death in front of your family. But God helped a crippled lady be a beauty pageant contestant. I mean, there's an arrogance to go walk hand in hand with the beauty of that story. So this ought to be absolutely. This should be terrible.
Absolutely. Do you remember that Donnie McClurkin song? Just for me.
Oh, yes. Oh,
just
God,
for me.
Yes.
That's what all these stories remind me of.
Pretty much. Fuck your problems. Watch this. This.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Okay, Sal, tell me the story of the born again beauty.
Born again beauty.
Okay,
wow.
So I'm just bringing up this Washington Post article. Anyone can Google it. So I try to, for some of these, I just try to get things that are publicly available. And also so you all can investigate it yourself. Cheryl Pruitt's Born Again American Beauty, written by Carla Hall in the Washington Post, May 27th, 1980. And I know this is early in my Christian walk, and this was an inspiring story. This is a little longer, and it's written from a secular perspective. So this won't have a lot of the kind of the warm feel that you may get from a, if it were told by a Christian author. So just take it for what it's worth. But
that bugs me right there. The hunt for bias. I'm kind of disappointed that a secular person wrote this, and it just isn't laden with Christianese and devotion the way I would hope it would be if it was written by a Christian author. I just want to say that this is one of my huge problems with Christianity. As I say, Christians don't study science. They don't read science books. They go to the science section of the Christian bookstore, and that's how they handle everything. And this preference for Christian authors, Christian this, Christian that, is one of the more subtle things I think we have to get at, because that's the desire to live in a bubble. That's how you end up in a fucking bubble and you don't know shit. All right, let's roll some of this fucked up ass tape.
All right.
It's also good from the secular perspective because it's like, okay, it's still kind of hard to deny that something happened to someone. Yeah. And even if it's almost written with cynicism, it almost makes it more credible, if you know what I mean. Because it's not
great point,
meant to be
Doorknob Head.
evangelistic.
Good
this
to
is
see
meant
you.
To be
fantastic point.
Just straightforward reporting. Cheryl Pruitt went through the windshield of the car she was riding in when it collided with a neighbor's car 12 years ago. I had 100 stitches, said Pruitt, now 23, and Miss America. Her soft smile, just the shadow of the brilliant toothy gleamer she wears most hours of the day. Emergency room stitches, they were done in a hurry. My entire mouth has been sewn back together. My chin has been sewn back together. My forehead has been sewn back together. See this line? Her fingers pass gently over each part of her face that she mentions.
Okay, pause the tape.
She
Pause
points
the
to
tape.
barely
Stop.
I was wondering how long he was gonna go.
Hold on. Is her disability that her mouth was torn open and she had a stitches, so now she's got. If that's where they're going with this, on top of the fact that this is already sitting on some bullshit, he has no idea how much credibility he has lost. Car accidents are bad. Having your mouth be stitched back together, I'm not making light out of that. But come on, dude. Come on. This is not the miraculous story that he faced. It is. I mean, again, they're so desperate that, again, I bullshit you now. I joked about it. Then I saw Jacqueline Glenn say it. Again, a dog taking a shit is proof of God. There's nothing that they can't find that they're going to give, that they won't give God credit for. Again, car accidents are horrific. Having your face have to have plastic surgery to repair everything. I'm not making light out of that. But come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
if that's the cripple that he's talking about, just no.
That's right. It's not even count. A couple things that struck out to me. So I actually had a very serious partner who had basically facial reconstruction surgery, I think, as a young person. And as I understand it, because she's beautiful now, she was born kind of just not pretty. Let's just say that. But what's interesting about her story is she was kind of born like in a way that she wasn't comfortable with, and she had the surgery, now looks beautiful. What's interesting about this story is, for some reason, I think for a lot of us, it would have been more impressive. I hate to say that's what we're supposed to be, right? We're supposed to be impressed, so we got to evaluate how impressive this story is. We would have been more impressed if God did something to take somebody who was born not beautiful and then somehow make them beautiful, right? Like, it's mundane now because, like I just said, I dated somebody. That happens every day. We do it every single day. Somebody gets to a certain age, we say, "Oh, you're getting picked on too much." We can rework this whole facial situation out. But this sounds like somebody who this happened to her when she was 12. Willing to bet you she was already gorgeous, right? This is somebody who was a very pretty girl who got in an accident and then is now. But you know what I'm saying?
There's so many steps that are being missed by whoever this Sal cat is. And I dig your story, but it's like, again, the God isn't that a doctor went through 4 years of undergrad, went through 4 years at school, in a residency, a specialty. They're $200,000 in medical school.
Right.
It's like, oh, let's fix your face up. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's not miraculous science. No car accidents anymore. There. No more cancer anymore.
Right.
No more diabetes. No more rape. No more. There.
Uncle Bobby, we're having an issue with your connection. I don't know why. It's been fine all day. Now all of a sudden it's acting up. Of course, that's how things go when we go live. Uncle Bob, can you just refresh your? Yeah, can you hear me? Can you refresh your gather? Just hit the refresh button and pop back in. The funny thing is that's exactly. He made exactly the point I wanted to make. Let me see if we'll just wait a second, see if we get Uncle Bobby back in. It's probably just an issue with Gather. They're so desperate, they have to hype it up. Have to. Which is really weird. Really, really, really weird. But yeah, hey, Chris, good to see you. Captive Desk said, I have a debunk video almost ready about Rebekah in Sal's Dahlia Knox healing video will be out soon. All right, we'll look for that. Check out Captive Desk. The link is in the description. Let me check my phone real quick, see if Uncle Bobby needs help. Nope, he's back, I think. All right. Great. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can.
Yeah, perfect. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. That's most of the time, that's what'll do it, is just a refresh. But before we roll the tape, man, that's exactly the point I wanted to make. And this upsets me as a scientist and a science educator. Like, it seems really disrespectful is the only way I can take it. It's like you're not taking science seriously. To take something that is clearly the result of scientific and medical advances and to just slap your God label all over it. Exactly. It's very frustrating because that's not what's happening here. And I know Christians, they just go, something good happened, and I just want to give God all the glory that something wonderful happened. And I don't want to be that person in the room, but it's like, in doing so, you're actually not, you're severely undermining what human beings have accomplished, particularly when it comes to science and medicine. And so, there's just nobody hears a miracle here. We hear a pretty girl who unfortunately got in a car accident, which, like, to your point, it would have been miraculous if car accidents and all of this stuff just disappeared. Then even the atheists would be like, hey, maybe we should give this guy just a little bit of credit. I mean, he did kind of save a whole bunch of lives. I mean, we can at least say thanks for this one,
Absolutely.
But it's not happening. And it's incredibly frustrating. But I think you just made a fantastic point, which I think is, I imagine that's going to be the frustration for most of us throughout most of this, is that, there's clearly a better alternative explanation for all this.
Totally.
All right, let's roll some more of this fucked up ass tape.
Vertical indentation that runs down the axe, that run down the middle of her forehead. There are no other signs of the accident.
Wait, now, was she Miss America before this happened, or she was Miss America after this happened?
After.
Wow.
After.
Stop. Okay, pause it. Is he getting emotional? Go walk it off, dude. Go fuck yourself. After. Dude, shut the fuck up. Are you serious? Do you know how many kids are sitting in a pediatric oncology ward right now being pumped with a toxic mixture of formaldehyde, rubbing alcohol, gasoline, and pure unadulterated hate? I know someone with a breast cancer. I don't know all the science behind it, but hers was so fucked up, and I can't remember what the name is, but the nickname is the Red Devil. In other words, you can only get this treatment once. Like, if you survive breast cancer at 20 and they give you the Red Devil, you're so fucked up that if you get it again at 55, you can't take the Red Devil anymore.
Whoa.
That's how much damage it does. It's quite literally, we're nuking everything. And whatever remains, we hope it's the good stuff so you can live.
Wow.
They're basically giving you poison to kill you.
Right.
And just, bitch, I hope this works.
Wow.
This is what he's getting emotional over. Right? She got stitches.
Right.
She's a beauty contention. But you were ignoring everything else.
Right.
Again, I am glad that this lady got the reconstructive surgery that made her happy, whole. She's competing in beauty. That's great. But you can't sit here. Because again, if that's your evidence of God, fine. It doesn't lead to a proof. Because my trump card is going to be, what about the ladies who have to get the Red Devil pumped through their veins to beat breast cancer? Right? What about, what is it? The parasite whose only life cycle is to burrow into your eye. It makes you blind so that it can live.
Wow.
I mean, look at his monkey ass. Emotional. I mean, that's
Emotional.
just arrogance. Emotional. That's ignorance mixed with arrogance, mixed with insensitivity. It is.
Right.
And all in the name to prove that their God exists. Look at his ass getting emotional. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. That pissed me off.
No. It's true. And Sal has a whole very interesting backstory, but he's very emotionally manipulative. I'll just say that. That's part of what. One of the things he does that's really funny is we always say don't tell Sal your prayers, because he will literally go on live stream and just start praying for people's stuff. Yeah, y'all, we just want to pray for Uncle Bobby's halitosis. He's been really having a lot of trouble around the workplace and in his personal life because, it's really hard to have a social life under those conditions. Yes, Pragmatic Crystal's going through a rough time. They've been cheating on their spouse for 20 years, and their partner's really tired of their affairs. Lord, we just pray that you move in the life of Bozo the Clown, who just recently lost their job. Like, do not toss out your problems, or else he will put that shit all over the internet. So yeah, he's all about emotionally manipulating people.
He's one to look at it.
We could pan to the picture of my mom here. Oh wait, that's a background. My mother's
Nitty Killer set last night, man.
Automobile accident.
Y'all missed it. You missed it, didn't it? They missed the audience. We have a dance party every night, every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern in Gather, and a lot of you missed it. You missed it. What were you doing instead? You were on the interwebs. You were watching YouTube videos doing what? Talking about Jesus, talking about God, I told you, even Christians only talk about Jesus one day a week. But you skip all the fun things going on in this community. You just got to stop being a YouTube loser. I've been trying to tell you guys this for weeks, but you're never going to learn. And Nitty shutting it down on the ones and twos, I'm just going to say, that's the part of the party we can actually talk about on YouTube. You understand what I'm saying, Uncle Bobby? The rest of the party was on some serious, like, you had to be there type of tip, because I don't even think we can discuss all of the activities in proper public company. So
this side chat is killing me.
You just gonna have to be.
I was tearing up the dance floor. Thank you.
All right, y'all, here we go.
And the plastic surgeons rebuilt it. But even then, that was a miracle.
Carrying to South Present, where's the devil?
I was about to say.
Thank God for providence. But imagine that her body was crushed. But there's more to this story that's just compelling.
Just imagine the torture porn. Just imagine.
I'll just read this again. So she was about 11 years old at this time. So she's 23.
Okay,
so that's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
She's 11 years old. My entire mouth has been sewn back together. My chin has been sewn back together. My forehead has been sewn back together. See this line? Her fingers pass gently over.
324. Oh, 12 years ago. Okay. I thought it said she was 12 years old. And I'm like, why are you changing the age? Okay, I needed to be correct there. It was 12 years ago. So she was 11. Okay. Got it.
Her
now
fingers
she's
pass gently over each part of her face that she mentions. And she points to the barely noticeable vertical indentation that runs down the middle of her forehead. There are no other signs of the accident. Her makeup is heavy with foundation, almost theatrically thick. Her blush is rougey. Her lipstick is very red. Her brilliant blue eyes overshadowed by long, sticky, mascaraed lashes. But like a winsome Flannery O'Connor heroine, she survived it all. She survived the stitches, suffered through having one leg crushed in the accident, which made it 2 inches shorter than the other. And through most of 2 inches, And through most of her high school years, she walked with a limp.
Okay, pause the tape. This dude's sitting on some bullshit. Okay, stop. This is like the whole Damar Hamlin thing. And for those of you that don't know, Damar Hamlin plays football for the Buffalo Bills. It was quite literally a 1 in a billion chance. He made an everyday, generic, no upgrade level tackle. Guy hit him in his chest and quite literally caught him right in between that heartbeat and that electrical impulse. He could have made that tackle 42 trillion times and gotten up and gotten back into the huddle. It was that one time that his heart just said, fuck it. And Damar Hamlin passed out on the field. Now, at the end of the day, Damar ended up being okay. It looks like he's going to play football again. A total freak accident. Christians have taken this and run. Pastors have done sermons that this was a sign. This is to bring people to God. Everyone prayed, and now Damar Hamlin's fine.
Basically, they declared him dead. Then they prayed. Then he came back. And now the woke leftist media is trying to make it like he just passed out.
Right. And again, first and foremost, the people on the field saved that man's life. He was tubed, and apparently in the hospital, he, quote unquote, died again. The people with the medical licenses, they revived that man. My point is, you mean to, and I had a lady at work, you're like, no, I mean, everyone prayed, and my pastor prayed about it, and we all talked about it. That's proof. It's like, okay, proof of God is making a lady shit on herself because his mother was watching the game. She didn't know that Damar was going to be okay. She just saw her son fall on the fucking field. Right? I got hurt. The first time I got hurt, I returned an interception. A guy hit me in my thigh with his helmet. I literally turned to flip. If you guys don't know what a bone bruise feels like, it's like a shotgun blast. I couldn't get up. I thought my leg had snapped in half. And I bullshit you, not just one of those moments where I look and my mom is running down the stadium.
Damn.
She gets off, and they're like, man, you can't. My mom gave that fucker a slap.
Right. she used all your D-line techniques.
It's like she wasn't going to be denied.
Sorry, a linebacker.
They carried me on. They carried me off the field, and my mom was sitting right there crying her ass off. That's because I thought my leg was broken. Damar was dead.
Right.
You understand that?
Yeah.
And so, proof of God.
We were live at the time, and Satan's Little Helper came through and said, somebody just died on Monday Night Football. And I was like, what?
I saw that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so proof of God is making a lady shit on herself, making her realize her worst fear. I'm going to watch my son die in front of my fucking face. So a million slapnuts can, oh, dear God, don't let Damar Hamlin.
Well, that's the sick part. The sickest part of it is the story that they are telling you is part of God's plan was homeboy was going to die, but the Christians intervened with the blase and the Glavinoids, and now God decided to save this poor fella. But that has to be the bigger picture, right? Is he's in control. He's the orchestrator of the situation. So what you're telling me is God was a little bit dissatisfied with the level of public worship in America. Somehow in America, Jesus Titty Christ is not being worshipped enough, right? So then he's like, oh, let me just in the middle of this whole Black Lives Matter campaign, let me just wipe out an actual innocent black man who's literally done nothing. He's just playing a football game. He ain't got no crimes on him. He ain't passing no fake 20s. He ain't selling Lucy's illegally. None of that shit. He's literally just playing football. See, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to just wipe him on out. But I don't really want to kill him. What I really want is to see America just be a little bit more religious, okay? I'm getting frustrated that y'all stop worshiping me during these football football games that, you know, you just got out of church. Mostly you just left church when you watch football,
Exactly.
but you haven't been worshiping me enough while you're watching football. So we're just going to sacrifice this black man right here, which isn't racist at all. That way America can just pray a little bit
Turn to
more.
God.
And then I'm going to just come back in with my ultimate love and just be like, oh, that's all I wanted. I just was feeling unloved.
See? And that's exactly what this is.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, great point.
Also,
I'm
confused. Like, does she just have the scar and no other signs, or does she have a scar or crushed leg that's 2 inches short out? I don't.
But it's okay. First and foremost, someone get Bozo out of the side chat. Seriously, I've only seen a couple. Get this fucker off the side chat.
Who is this?
Whoever Bozo the clown is, Bozo's just sitting here just shitting on the side chat. Get this fucker out of here.
Oh, all right.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
Blocks. Boom.
Yeah, we don't need that garbage. But
sorry about that.
Yeah, but the whole, that's a great way to put it, man. I'm not getting jerked off enough, so I'm going to kill this dude in front of the entire world, right? Same thing here. I'm going to put this young lady through a car window. I'm going to make her walk with a limp with a shorter leg.
Right.
So she can win America.
Absolutely.
Everyone's going to jerk me off.
Right.
It's the same thing with the whole, we've taken God out of schools. So you know what? Bitches, I'm going to show you. I'm going to have some asshole walk into a school in Uvalde, Texas, and murder 19 children and 2 adults. That'll get everyone to worship me again. I mean, Christians, if this is your God,
right?
Your God blows.
Right.
I'm going to kill a man on live TV. I'm going to put this, then 11-year-old through a windshield. That he can walk upright during a Miss America pageant because that's important.
Right.
You don't pray to me in public school anymore. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let this whole fucking country go left. Just go nuts. And we're just going to kill all these goddamn people with AR-15s. That'll get everyone on their knees to worship me again.
Right.
Christians, you've got no idea how bad this makes your God. If this sucker is actually real, what I flushed down the toilet this morning has more moral fiber than your God.
Right. Just the celestial shakedown.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this whole thing is garbage. Yeah, let's sound with his dramatic.
Before she went to a faith seminar years later where she was healed and the leg grew, she says, 2 inches that very day. It all seems far away and fluttery now, as she arrived here yesterday for a Memorial Day service to promote a USO tour. But she talks about the accident because she is now Miss America, a title she holds until the next pageant in September. And she is also a born-again Christian, like the rest of her family, which includes 2 brothers and a sister. The Pruitts are from Choctaw County, Mississippi, where they once ran a country store. Now they mainly sing and tour the country with Cheryl. Singing is her talent.
No, bro. No. Okay, now he can. No. Mississippi is one of the poorest, if not the poorest states in the union. Okay, there are people who do not eat. In 2023, in the state of Mississippi, Brett Favre just ripped millions of dollars of public money to build his daughter a volleyball stadium at the University of Mississippi. This fuckface is a millionaire. This lady is from Mississippi. Okay, God can take Mississippi from last in poverty to first in wealth. God can make sure everyone in Mississippi goes to bed tonight with a full belly. But no. Why would I do some bullshit like that? I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to make this 11-year-old girl go through a fucking window. That's how I'm going to prove that I exist. Sal, Rebekah, SJ, all you Christians, can you not hear how horrible this sounds? I'm from the South, and I am telling you, Mississippi is just overrun with poverty, teen pregnancy, repeat teen pregnancy, quality of public school education. Give me a break. And you're going to prove God by putting an 11-year-old through a windshield and making sure she wins Miss America. That's not inefficient.
So that she can then just go on tour for Jesus and make more money for God. Great.
Again, this is no different than there's not enough public school prayer, so I'm going to let kids be mowed down by murder machines that any slap nuts can get.
Absolutely.
That'll get people on their knees. Again, Christians, I hope you hear what me and Bundy are talking
it's real bad.
This is awful.
It's really bad.
And look at this picture, singing and looking up to Jesus in Mississippi. And she's saying, "Hey God, hey, feed everyone in Mississippi. Hey God, let's get comprehensive sex education in our schools so we can get the teen pregnancy rate down." No. She's just going to sit there and be like, "Oh, God, you are wonderful. Shit, I don't deserve your blessings." That's all. Come on, man. This is, roll this fucker.
I actually visited Choctaw County because there was a nice casino there. I'm sorry, I just had to mention that.
Town with brown
She
water.
travels with her Bible
goodness.
and her alarm clock, her music, her crown, her gowns, her dresses, her shoes, and her purses. 2 full suitcases.
Sounds like a beauty queen.
And it all makes sense in her strange world where the discipline and religion and the family values and the little girlish southern twang run into the nonstop conveyor belt of commercial appearances and singing engagements and nights in Las Vegas where Glenn Campbell calls you up from the audience onto the stage to sing a song with him because you're Miss America. I
Hey,
take my
Sean.
guidance from scripture, she says, settling on the sofa of a white Washington Hilton hotel yesterday. Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel. I guess I've gotten some criticism from spiritual leaders all over.
Clay is meant to be broken gentlemen. It's in the side chat. What does that mean?
I don't know. That's Sean. It's one of our guys.
Okay.
Sean, what the fuck are you talking about? Come on, come in to Gabbett.
I want to know what that means. I'm sorry. Let's roll the tape.
You get letters from every.
Oh, I don't know. It sounds like citing some religious thinking, like this is what they're supposed to go through, like they're supposed to be broken, so the potter can put them back together or some shit.
Gotcha.
But this is the world where people need to hear that God loves you. They hear it in church. They don't expect to hear it where I am. I feel that's why I can justify doing what I'm doing. That's one way I justify it. As for the seemingly obvious conflict between being a religious person from the rural South and the object of all that visual cheesecake inspection, she has an answer. People ask me how I could wear a swimsuit in the pageant and be a Christian, she said. She leaned forward, her jaw set, her eyes narrowing. I tell them, if you'd been a cripple for 6 years, you'd love to wear a swimsuit. She sat back, her closed mouth.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
When she was in high school, a doctor told her.
Dude, come on, man.
Hello, Jay, and everybody.
All right, Chris, go ahead. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Well, this is basically what it amounts to abuse.
Yeah.
Like the whole shebang, it's abuse because it's basically you're telling the disabled community, to which I am a part of, by the way, as a person with cerebral palsy, you were basically your props for Jesus and all that theistic crap.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, it's very ableist. It's certainly very ableist and suggest, right, that it's not normal or acceptable for people with disabilities to win beauty pageants. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and even And I think it's like was 2 days ago. She posted about putting revival stuff about like a woman um, just kind of walking all of a sudden with all that crap. Excuse
I
me.
think maybe that's the faith healing video that Dave is making a response to.
Yeah, or some. Well, Sal anyway. Anyhow, she's in
Sure.
codes with Sal, and yeah, this is very like disgusting to me. As in, this, like I said, where it boils down to us being props for your your like fantasy trips of my big man in the sky. So yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's very hurtful. Do you think she doesn't see that or doesn't care? I think that maybe she's just so used to these narratives, right? That this has become how she expects this to play out. What are your thoughts?
I don't think that she can see a hole from the ground. It's basically the same thing when we, as atheists, encounter like it doesn't matter that either that the fact that we are if it doesn't matter if God exists or not. It's like we don't have it doesn't make the existence of God doesn't make it's gonna make us have automatic apparitions for and having special qualities to worship and admire it and all that stuff and go down on our knees and all that crap and just it's basically the same thing. It's that just because a thing exists doesn't mean that we have like an automatic like oh we have to just shut off our brains basically. So what I'm saying, excuse me, to reiterate,
Sure.
is I think that she can't see it. It's like the same thing with her book. I think that was with one of the readings that Jim Apperson did, and that was disgusting. And she just can't see a hole from the ground. But anyways, sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
No,
Thanks for popping in, Chris, and
Yeah,
I
thank you
appreciate
so
the
much.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Yeah. You can head back to the audience if you want to stay in here, Chris. All right. So
There was a real
ahead.
fast. There was I think it's called Murder Ball, and it's like full contact basketball for people who live their lives in a wheelchair. And I can't remember his name, but this dude is incredible and abrasive and kind of an asshole, but I dig it. And there were two moments. I can't remember, was it Corolla? Someone interviewed him, but he was in the gym working out, he's lifting and he dropped something and someone comes sprinting across the gym to pick it up and he got pissed. Well, I'm just trying to help you. I was like, I can get that. Hello, I'm fine. And then he just told a story about how a random person came up to him and he was just, having a drink, cough, whatever. He was just doing everyday stuff. And this lady came up to tell him something along the lines of, "You're such an inspiration to me."
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, yo, I got into a fucking car accident. You understand? I live my life. I'm not in a wheelchair to make you feel better about your life. And he was like, fuck you. And I'll never forget that. Oh, what's that?
So, and to be quite honest, it's like for me, when I quote unquote fall or I have a fall, I have a protocol on how to do stuff. It's like, and to be, because for me, cerebral palsy is that you have basically, you're always tensed up, like it's a neurological thing, but it's just that I'm constantly, it's like, for me, it's my left side basically is fighting every movement that I take. It takes double the time. But anyway, I digress. Too long of an explanation. But the thing is that when somebody basically picks me up, is that I'm basically dead weight. So the reason why I basically just don't pick me up, please, unless I specifically ask you that I need some help is that I'm basically dead weight, because to a certain degree is that it's like I'm, like I said, it's just like it's very like a rigid thing, and to go against what naturally against my grain on how I move is very, I can hurt you, like if you don't know what what you're doing, you know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like,
No, it makes perfect sense.
personal support work. That's why personal support workers are trained to do what they do. And even if I don't know if there's anything about it in the States or in terminologies in Canada, but anyway, nurses and PSWs are specifically trained to do that. And even with that training, they basically have a career. Their career lifespan is between 10 to 15 years, basically, because eventually they get so grind down that just to have assistance is detrimental. Like I'm 32. Along my lifetime, I had a lot of probably 5 personal support workers from by the time I was a kid all the way up to when I was 18. And from 18, I kind of left off for a while, but because of the fact that I pursuing college and university and all that stuff, and that's that kind of stuff. But eventually, it's like I'll have to go out doing physio and all that stuff. But anyway, excuse me. But in the meantime, it's just so. Just
I get it's frustrating and hurtful to have your story, used and overshadowed in this way. And thanks for sharing, Chris.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
All right, let's roll some tape. Chris, you can head back to the audience if you want to stay and gather.
Thank you, Chris.
Please.
Thank you.
Thanks.
She probably would not be able to bear children because of her leg problem. I think it crushed part of her pelvis or something. Thereafter, she prayed for months to be healed before she finally went to a faith seminar, as she called it, run by a man named Kenneth Hagin from Tulsa, she said. All day long, my leg had felt numb and tingly, she said. I think whatever happened to my leg happened during the whole day. The seminar wasn't emotional with screaming and crying and all this, she said. It was very relaxing. I believed God enough to know he'd do it. I was very calm. It was very calm and beautiful. I was feeling very loved. She was standing in front of a stage where the minister prayed over her. She later sat down on the floor and saw that her shorter leg was then the same length as the other. She figures the whole thing took 5 or 10 seconds. Since the healing, I've been an outspoken.
All right, this is weird to me because this is crazy to me. I normally see a separation of these things, right? Like normally the preachy ones who are like super into the whole faith healing type deal are not usually the super sciencey ones, and they just want to have it all. Like she literally wants to have a channel. She has a second channel, Uncle Bobby. It's changed its name over time, but it's currently called Examining Origins. Used to be called Examining Evolution, but it's basically just like an anti-science channel. And then she's over on this channel where it's supposed to be more like her evangelizing type stuff. But this is just some faith healing nonsense. She looked down and her leg was recovered the 2 inches. I mean, this is crazy.
Examining what?
Examining Origins. Yeah, it's just crazy talk.
Christian.
So I've always said, hold on, I gotta kick this in here because when I go out and do yard work, I'm listening to all this bullshit because I need to be upset. Oh, yep, there it is. I'm gonna rip her monkey ass. Okay, let me tell y'all something because me and Bundy were talking in the pregame. And we were talking about, I did not know this, but apparently Rebekah is S.J. Thomason in training. Yes. Let me tell y'all something, because I've talked to S.J. on the phone, like as in we exchange phone numbers. I've been on her show. I'm gonna tell you, I can't stop you from believing in a God. If your belief in a God is what's making you not be an asshole, then go ahead. But when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to your physical health, stop fucking around. This whole faith healing stuff is garbage. And I've heard SJ, and she was on the channel with Jackson Wheat. And I think at the time, an aspiring scientist. And Jackson asked SJ about faith healing. And this is one of the moments where I was like, man, fuck SJ. Because the only thing to say about faith healing, it's sitting on some bullshit. Go to a doctor. But she won't do it because it's tied to her Christian faith.
Right.
And so it was like, I personally wouldn't, but I'm not going to. It's like, no, that's officially the wrong answer. You see, because people are listening to you. Before she deleted her channel, SJ had like 30 some odd thousand followers, Jack. People listened to what she said. I'm just now at 1620. And if someone asks if I ever had a Christian on my show.
So wait, did you say SJ? Did you think SJ stopped her channel or something? Because she came back, I guess. Because she was.
I think. I don't talk to her anymore. I blocked her. She blocked me.
Oh, okay.
But and she nuked all the videos that she made with atheists that gave her even an ounce of kickback.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, SJ nuked her stuff because #I'm professional. She was taking too much heat because people were calling her out. And I was like, you are terrible. I sat there and I watched her tell a fellow atheist that her husband is burning in hell. He died in combat. You know, the troops that everyone loves to jerk off to.
Wow.
He died a non-believer. And SJ told this lady that your husband is burning in hell and is being tortured forever. And we called her monkey ass out. She sat there and she said that Christianity cures depression. I personally hit her monkey ass up on DM, on Twitter. I sent her a text and we talked over the phone. And she did nothing but backpedal in him and Hall and make herself out to be the victim. And that's the other reason why I think she deleted her channel. Because she needed to set up this Christian persecution. Right? I'm back from the ashes type of bullshit.
Yeah, well, I think she might be doing that because she tried to go live the other day and she jumped into some shit that I guess Derek had done for Mythvision, and myself, Derek, and I think mostly James Apperson were in the channel, really just, not even trying to go at her that hard, but she just like pulled her stream. She just like ended it. She's like, stop. Like, why go live? What you think? We're not gonna figure out you out here? I don't know. It's weird.
She doesn't. She wants all the praise and none of the criticism.
That's what it sounds like.
And that's what this is. If you're gonna sit here and say that your leg grew 2 to 3 inches in just seconds, I'm not going to lie to the lady who, fuck you for saying that. And more importantly, fuck these two for pumping that up as something that is real.
Yes.
How many people in the exact same car accident are going to stop going to PT and start going to church because they heard this foolishness?
Yes. And that's the thing. That's the thing too, is I feel like there's so many things in Christianity that Christians dissociate from when it becomes a bad word. All of a sudden they don't want to be considered a fundamentalist, or they don't want to be considered an evangelist. And faith healing is one of those things that has a bad reputation. But I'm of the persuasion that more or less all Christians are guilty of being on the faith healing tip, because they either explicitly, have engaged in this sort of faith healing type of bullshit, or they endorse it. because there are no Christians that I think will tell you, yeah, Jesus can't heal you. And so as long as Christians, and I think all Christians endorse the notion that Jesus can heal you. Matter of fact, part of how they endorse their belief in Jesus as God is through their supposed belief of stories in which Jesus heals people. So I think we kind of let a lot of Christians sort of play duck and cover. Oh, I'm not one of those Christians. I'm not into that. I would go to the doctor and I do. And I'm like, cool, that's all well and good. But you're still part of the faith healing problem unless you're willing to come out and say, nah, Jesus doesn't heal people. And since no Christians really, to me, can do that and still be accepted as Christians, Christianity fundamentally endorses faith healing. It just does. It oh my God, it does. It uses stories of faith healing to support Jesus as God. So I don't see a way around it.
And like I'm thinking of like two Christians in particular who I would give space on my channel if they wanted to come and talk. One has a medical license, and she and I have had this discussion, and this is why I will never debate her. If she was here right now, she would tell the both of us to shut the fuck up. She would, and she would tell you, Jesus wants you to go to the doctor. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She would say faith healing is a crock of shit.
Right.
Now, I don't care if you think God created evolution, that created medicine, which created chemo, so now you're cancer.
Okay, sure.
Do I believe it? No. But you're going to the doctor, so yay.
Right.
So there are Christians who will sit here and say that faith healing is sitting on some bullshit. And again, I can't stop anyone from believing in a God. If that's what makes you feel good, go ahead. But if your God walks hand in hand with reality, I'm not going to debate you like my friend with the medical license.
Sure. Yes.
She will tell you, it's like, oh, holy shit, your kid's burning the fuck up. Well, we've been doing some praying. Your praying fucking sucks balls. Your kid has got 104, right?
Right.
Those aren't tongues that your kid is speaking.
Right.
They're delirious because their brain is boiling.
Right.
And yes, I will say 90 some odd % of Christians are on this tip.
Right. But then there's the exceptions.
Yeah.
I just wish the exceptions would think more critically about where the rest of it's coming from. Right. That's the problem. Right. Like, in other words, the solution to them is always, well, the other people aren't Christianing the correct way. But that presumes a lot. You know, it presumes a lot. But yeah, I'm with you. I was on that same tip, right? I was never like into faith healing, but I now look back at my time in Christianity and realize I was still endorsing the notion that Jesus can heal. Yeah. And I now realize that was a bigger problem than whether or not I chose to go to the doctor, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you. Let's go ahead and roll some
let's roll some of this fucked up ass tape
as well. Our whole society is set around negativism. This is a positive note. Someone can have something good happen to them. She stressed several times that when she talks about what she talks about is the power of positive thinking. This is motivational success. This is a motivational success story, she said, of her healing. The reaction to her story, her leg being healed and growing 2 inches so that she doesn't limp anymore, is better than you would think, she said. I don't care if they don't believe it. If they're ready to accept it and it helps their life, good. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'm not here to change people's minds. I'm here to show them what works for me, just like Jesus. He didn't push people. I don't have to be pushy either, she said. Pruitt talks a lot about religion at her public appearances, many of which are in churches. She will continue to be booked after her Miss America reign is over to sing, to talk about Christ. She's booked into August 1981, and she has some dates into 1982. Her mother handles her post Miss America bookings. On some of those dates, her brothers and sisters sing with her. She says she and her siblings have traveled around singing for the past 18 years. So her family have been serving the Lord a long time. Cheryl uses every opportunity to witness at her 28-year-old sister, Paulette, who's traveling with her on this trip. She's asked to explain what that means. She tells people about the Lord, Paulette says. When Cheryl Pruitt lived at home, she went to Salem Independent Church in Choctaw County. Obviously, I don't go now because I'm traveling, she said. And even if I were there, I don't know if I'd go. She is asked why, and she answers with a non-answer. Well, I don't know, she said, because I'm not there. After lunch with representatives of all the armed services at Fort Myers Mess Hall yesterday, she went outside for an hour's worth of photographs. She links arms with the clean-cut, slightly odd men. She giggled and wrinkled her nose. Never forgot a name and sometimes gave them little kisses. Oh, I got lipstick on your cheek, she exclaimed to one, wiping it off with her hand. Earlier that morning, Pruitt had sung the national anthem at a memorial service at Arlington Cemetery. Later, she was scheduled to sing at a local veterans hospital.
Okay, this is just stupid. All this is supposed to be an instrument to get the word of God out. Are you serious? I mean, lipstick, beauty contestant, 120 stitches in her. Just stop. Christians, stop.
Absolutely.
It's a crystal clear day. I got to get my black ass out there and do some more work. But there's not a cloud in the sky. Your God could poke his ass through there. It's like, hey, motherfuckers, here I am right now. But no. You know what he's going to do? He's going to take an 11-year-old from Mississippi and put her face through a fucking windshield. Now I'm listening to this fuckface just sit here and just ramble on over nothing. This is a big, fat, nothing sandwich with extra mayonnaise. Is this supposed to show that his God is real? Is this what I'm hearing?
Right.
I mean, this walks hand in hand with what I said earlier. There's not enough praise in public school.
Not enough.
I'm going to sit back and watch kids get shot the fuck up. Like you said, I'm going to take this innocent black dude. And again, there have been, before Damar Hamlin made that tackle, just in that game. Just in that game, there were 1,000 points of contact. Downset hike, a center hitting a nose guard.
Right.
Downset hike, a linebacker running into it, the pulling guard. Downset hike, a receiver trying to go up against a cornerback in cover one, and he jams them. There were 1,000 points of individual contact. But I'm going to take this one. I'm going to let man die in front of his mother. So an entire countryside can now pray and tell me how great I am. Gang, if the Christian God is real, he is cruel. He is the world's most ineffective communicator, and he's a fuckface. He could stop me from calling him a fuckface, but you know what he's going to do? He's going to make another 11-year-old girl put her face through a windshield so Uncle Bobby can shut his mouth. Don't you see God is real?
Right.
Oh, you thought the other girl needed 120 stitches? This girl needs 375. He could shut this channel down right now. Hold on. Yeah, we're still on the air. But you know what he's going to do? According to Christians, and everyone forgive me for what I'm getting ready to say. I'm going to go to work on Monday. I'm going to hear another story about someone who was raped by a sibling or a family member. Because apparently, according to Christians, rape proved that God exists. Instead of shutting this channel down, instead of poking his head through the sky, another apologist is going to say, if there is no God, what's wrong with the Holocaust?
What's wrong with slavery?
He could shut this down. He could kill atheism tonight. But instead, someone's going to say, well, if there is no God, what was wrong with the Ku Klux Klan beating your granddad over the head with a shovel until he was dead because he wanted to give black people a dignified burial? If there's no God, what's wrong with that?
So
give me a break. Come on, man.
I wish, and I do mean this, I sincerely wish that more of us felt compelled to come out of the closet. I mean, I think that that's what it feels like to me. Like there's so many people in our lives, we're afraid to just, look them in the face and say, I'm sorry, I don't believe this. But what I really wish is that more of us would feel compelled to do so because we're convinced that worshiping this God is immoral. And I feel like while that's the more difficult conversation to have, I think it's the more important one to have, because I think the immorality practiced by the faith is more important than an idea that I don't think is true. Right. And I also think that that is what's more likely to affect and potentially, combat people's faith. Right now, the number one problem that is keeping most people in Christianity, it has nothing to do with them believing it's true or not. They won't even look into that. They don't, right? They don't look into it and then become convinced that it's true, and that's why they stayed Christian. It has nothing to do with it. It's because they think it's good, and they think they're convinced it's such a good thing that they can't let go of it. So really, the real task for those of us that are serious anti-theists is to convince them that being a Christian is immoral. And that is going to require that you stop giving Christians positive feedback about their Christianity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a tough ask, but I think it's what we got to do. All right, let's see how much more of this
what we have to do.
We can get.
Let's try it.
In between, there were constant photographs as she promoted USO shows. She herself will be performing in August in a show making a tour of the Pacific, according to Russell Bice, director of USO shows. She can remember most of what she's done for the 3 days just past. Anything before that span becomes a blur. Future events are in the hands of traveling companions. There are just two and other officials. I don't try to put it in perspective, she said, smiling. I just do one thing at a time. They tell me what to do and I do it, she laughed a little. She loves being Miss America. She loves seeing the average person and seeing how they react. And there always there was a smile. And there's more there, but I think the essentials were told. There is something really incredible about this. After she got healed, and she was considered old for running for Miss America. I know 23 seems awfully young, but God put it in her heart. She was talented. She was made whole. And she said, okay, well, I'll just enter a beauty pageant. You have a chance to do talent. And she won. And just like, okay, why don't I keep trying? And she was runner up. She became Miss Mississippi. And just like, okay, so this girl that had her face shattered, cut in half, and healed. And she was limping around high school. A lot of people could verify. I'm like, her family was in the accident. They knew she limped around. There were doctors that treated her. So if, I have to think, what impact does this have on her community? And
I don't like
the song that she sings when she was on her singing tour was "I'm a Miracle, Lord."
Hang on one sec.
Pause it. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Well, just stop. Just stop. I'm a miracle. Again, I'm not making light out of the car crash. I'm not making light out of the injuries. But again, Christians, you need to hear how arrogant this sounds. Again, Mississippi, socially, financially, all the LYs you can think of, it ranks near the last. You know the only reason why my state, Louisiana, it isn't holding the title of sucking the ball the worst is because God made Mississippi and Arkansas. That's the reason why Mississippi is pretty much dead last in all social metrics. A miracle is not defined. It is not defined by one lady getting 100+ stitches and winning Miss America. There's when that lady is like, "Oh, I'm Miss America."
Yeah, I know. Right there's the wave. There it is.
There was a black kid, a Mexican kid, a white kid. The exact same time she did the wave, they looked at their mother with tears coming down their cheeks, saying, "Are we gonna have dinner tonight?" You know what Dad had to say? No, we can't afford food. Okay, there's the moment she sat there and her leg did like this right here, and grew to the same length. A child was raped by a priest for the second time, and she got pregnant for the second time.
Yeah.
And while she got a leg that was the same length as the other leg so that she can get on stage and sing hymnals, their God was nowhere to be found.
Absolutely.
For that rape. Nowhere to be found. So to sit here and say, my God exists because I had something good happen to me is arrogant.
And what we definitely don't have is her being treated, a medical record of her having a foot that is, or a leg that is 2 inches shorter, and then the doctor, because I don't know about you, but most of these type of things, they require treatment, they require follow-up. So when you just go from constantly seeking medical treatment for something to, oh my goodness, I prayed and the pastor heal it, if you do not run into the doctor's office and say, amen, hallelujah, please, doctor, look and document what the Lord has done. When they call you for your next follow-up appointment, could you come in for your physical therapy? I know you've been walking with a limp your whole life, and that kind of sucks, and we want to make sure you're doing all right with the pain medication and all of this shit. Oh, shit, I totally forgot to call you guys. Yeah, see, what happened was I went to the church, and the God healed me, and my leg went, joink. My spine was corrected from all of those years of damage. I'm sorry, could you just let Dr. Johnson know I won't be needing any more medical treatment?
Oh, yeah. And I told a lady a while back, and it was the first time I actually kind of lost my shit. It was the same thing. I felt a lump in my breast. It was breast cancer. I prayed. The lump was gone. Now, I'm a cisgendered man. Without telling her business, my ex-wife, she had lumps in her breast. And let's just say it was 100% hormonal. My point is, not every lump in your tit is cancer.
Right.
And she sat there, this lady, and it was, I don't have breast cancer. And I was like, did you ever get a diagnosis? She's like, no. And I remember she said, I know my body. And I was like, okay, so are you telling me you prayed and you cured breast cancer? She said, absolutely. Now, to all the ladies in the side chat, forgive me for what I'm getting ready to tell you to say, but I literally got upset. I did. And I was like, you're the most selfish bitch I've ever seen in my entire life. You mean to tell me you are sitting on the cure for breast cancer?
Right.
Your magical,
Yes.
You mean to tell me your magical incantation cure? No one ever has to. My friend who got the red devil.
Right.
You wouldn't have to have the red devil if you would have shared that information with the medical community.
Right.
You mean to tell me that you said a paragraph to yourself in a dark room, cure breast cancer, and you didn't go out immediately and present that to the medical community? You're the most selfish bitch I've ever seen in my life. Because I got mad. I got upset.
Yeah, no, it's
right?
it should be
And so
infuriating to us.
every time I hear the Sal's, and even though what's her name,
Rebekah,
Rebekah hasn't
yeah.
said much, you are given a platform to this bullshit. Because if Sal was on my channel and he sat there and was like, I was like, dude, we're not making it past the 30-second mark.
Right. Exactly.
You need to backtrack everything that you just said. Because again, if there is a cure for spinal cord injuries and Christians, you aren't sharing it, you're selfish. If your God isn't just making it obvious because we won't jerk them off, your God is an egomaniac with a pathology.
Right.
If you're telling me that, again, he can, but he chooses not to because his plan is mysterious.
Right.
Well, again, while that lady sat there on a Miss America stage, someone starved that night.
Right.
The Christian God's a sack of shit. That's provided the asshole.
Absolutely. And the other thing I was going to say is I think people need to, all of us, no matter what type of body you have, you need to get over the fact that turns out you don't know your body that well. It reminds me of a mechanic. Just because you drive a car every day does not mean you have any idea that that car works and how that car works. And that is all the times you take your car to the shop and the mechanic describes a problem. Yeah, your transmission is busted. Are you like, well, it's my car. I know my transmission. I'm going to go home and put it back together myself. Never. A lot of us you can't change your oil. You don't know how. So stop telling other people and medical professionals that you somehow know your body. You don't. There are at least 4 to 5 bumps I could point out on my body right now that at the end of the day, I really don't know what they are. The only reason I'm not worried about them is because I took them to a medical professional. He was like, yeah, see that's this. Yeah, wouldn't worry about that. That's a little, okay, that's called and look this, that. I mean, come on. We all have shit on our body and you don't know what it is or how it got there. So I just, it's a silly narrative, and people need to stop saying that. But let's get back into these fools.
All right,
she sings it with all of her heart, and she said, "All right, God, she said, if I win this, if I become Miss America, this is a platform for him." And so, the guys are lusting after all those women in bathing suits, but she's saying, hey, if you had a leg shorter and it was crushed and God healed it.
Oh, it's for the glory of God. Oh, and you just want to share. Okay.
It's amazing.
I got
There's
it.
this verse in Song of Solomon. Your
so
hips
weird.
Are curved like jewels. They are the masterpiece of a master craftsman.
This is so creepy.
Wow, that is incredible. Yeah, that's, to me, that is just, that shows you not only the power of God, but his character, the things that he delights in.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of a joke, right? That somebody that got that messed up physically
could end up
becoming like this icon of beauty.
It just had an accident.
Amen.
That is just that's wonderful, and I'm sure that there were, wow, just as you're like entering adolescence, getting your whole face torn apart, and then imagine what that was like for her as a teenager.
Torture porn.
This is the time when you're really finding out
torture porn,
who
trigger
you are,
warning.
and your appearance is so important, and then, but having to live with all these scars and the limp and everything, and kind of, I can imagine like the what.
This is some
what
of the
you'd
dumbest
be
shit I've
feeling.
It really is. And it's also gross because Christians put so much emphasis on physical beauty. It's very creepy. So number one, you have to admit that these are the people who would fundamentally sit around and preach against things like beauty pageants and see them as, you know, lustful and promoting covetousness. And if they had an ounce of civility in them, you know, at least objectifying women, or if not, glorifying women, because they're women. You shouldn't be putting women on the stage and just worshiping their womanness and giving them awards for who's the most feminine. What kind of, what part of Christianity is that? But they throw out all of that shit if it's for the glory of the Lord. No, now it's God wanted to make her, right? And they do the same thing with their wives, right? If you are not a member of a real Christian church, meaning you do not go, you are one of those fucking Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day only Christians. If you have not heard a pastor basically brag for half a sermon about how beautiful his wife is and how he doesn't deserve such an attractive woman. And I mean, it's kind of gross. Like, they just boast and brag about how hot their wives are all the time. And it is super, super creepy.
I mean, beyond creepy. And I just, dude, this is almost hard to look. No, this is hard.
Yeah, I mean, we can stop the tape, end the tape. I don't need 5 minutes.
Just watching Sal sitting there, you know, getting sad and emotional over this bullshit, watching her gush over him. And it's like, again, while they're sitting here talking, I'm literally thinking of all the shit that I've seen in my life. And again, my view on life is life happens. You are defined on how you react to this shit. Shit's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to Sal, Rebekah, everyone in the side chat, my next door neighbor. Life is going to happen. You are judged on how you react to it. No one has made it past the age of 1 without bad shit happening to you.
Right.
My problem with all of this is, again, when I think about miracles, which I don't believe in, again, Mississippi, God could give the doctor, again, there's so many steps they're not hitting before they get to this lady's face. God gave the EMTs the calm and the training to get that lady off the concrete on a neck board, stabilize her enough to travel her to the hospital.
Right.
God gave the emergency room trauma surgeon enough training to be able to say, wow, we need to do this, and this. Put her face back together, prescribe her medicines, which, you know, science came up with, not God. Her general practitioner who's sitting there is like, okay, you need to follow up at week 3, at week 6, at week 12. All these steps.
Yes.
Before we get to, here I am, Miss America. Right? There's so much shit that the Christian God could have taken care of before that. But we're supposed to sit here and focus on that. Mississippi, again, I've got relatives in Louisiana who literally could not read the words on our screen right now. That's Louisiana. Mississippi is worse.
Right.
God can give them a public school education that was worth a shit, but no. This lady needs to be in America. God can make sure that everyone goes to bed with the refrigerator full of food, but no. This lady needed to win Miss America. God, there's so much about Mississippi that could have been fixed.
Right.
But this lady winning Miss America. And this asshole talking, but worse than that, Rebekah giving him a platform, giving him legitimacy.
Oh, yeah, that's all she does with him, too.
I agree with you, man. We need to get to a point to where non-believers are stop being shy You know a virgin got pregnant. I need you to step away or I'm going to block your phone number. You're talking crazy. Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, some lady went through a window and she's Miss America. That's proof of God. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, you just step away from the adults table, the big kids table immediately. So the one thing, was really making me think about this too is the thing that the real accomplishment here, y'all, is that science has made it to the point where, I hate to say it, all of the elements of this story are actually mundane. Now, I want you to think about this. I don't care if you are talking about LeBron James, Steph Curry. Think of the best NBA player you know, right? Every once in a while, them motherfuckers misses a free throw. Are you serious? We paying you millions upon millions of dollars a year. You play basketball all day, every day. Here it is, game on the line, big shit popping, little shit stopping, and bonk, missed the free throw. But most of us just literally go, it does happen once in a while. But now think about it. Would you be like, it happens once in a while if, let's say, the EMT came for your medical treatment and you fell off the board? If the doctor went to sew up your face and missed a couple of spots and fucked your face up worse than it was prior? What am I saying? Medical and science has advanced to the point where these people that perform what on the surface of it used to appear miraculous, they have made it so mundane that we almost expect them to never fail at these things. It is never considered okay for EMTs to just drop somebody off a medical board. If they do it 1 out of 800 times, they are going to be sued for that 1 out of 800 times. I'm like, oh yeah, you dropped me. No, you dropped me. Oh no, I'm about to shut this whole hospital down. Right? Right? If the doctor stitches up your face, he stitches back people's faces every single time somebody walks in there and has a face that needs stitching, and it goes correctly every single time. He's like, oh, yep, you're healing. You're going to come back in exactly 3.7 weeks. And about 3.7 to 3.9 weeks, we're going to have this cleared up to go. Person comes in 4 weeks later. He's like, oh, yeah, it's been ready. Yeah, we got to take this off a week ago. Boop, done. Right? This shit is mundane. The difference is this happened to a very attractive young woman who was probably statistically just a really attractive young lady who, once she, went through the mundane shit that happens when somebody that goes through a car accident and needs facial reconstruction, she became Miss America. Because had that accident never happened to her, she probably would have been Miss America beautiful any goddamn way. And so that's what we have, an incredibly mundane story that happened to a very attractive person who later went on to win Miss America. And that's the incredible part of this. The incredible part of this is that all of those people Uncle Bobby mentioned, the EMTs, the doctors, the physical therapy people, they do this shit every single day, and they literally almost never, ever get it wrong.
But to what you just said, again, we have a higher standard for, according to Christians, we have a higher standard for broken, reprobate, sinful bastards. And I watched a Chris Rock special a couple weeks ago, and he said there are just certain jobs where you can't have a bad day. Right? Airline pilots cannot have a bad day.
Right,
Cops
bad day at work. Right, yeah.
Right. You have a bad day at work, someone dies. And you're right. 1,000 people put on a net board, you're great at your job. That 1,001st person rolls off and they injure themselves. You're the worst fucking EMT. You're horrible. You'll probably get sued, right? Buddy. He's waking up.
Sued, tested, all types of shit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Christian God ignores 1 million things. But one thing happened, right? We get on 1 out of 1 million. Holy shit, my God is good. He's great. You understand that the Catholic priest has been busting booty holes open for thousands of years. You know that. There are kids starving right now. You understand that. There's so much fucked up shit happening right now. Oh, oh, you don't even understand. One lady walked on the Miss America stage and she won. There's a billion things that go wrong that Christians just absolutely ignore. One thing goes right, and we're supposed to sing, "Yes, Jesus loves me." I mean, again, we have higher standards for the people walking this earth that apparently are broken,
right,
are sinful,
right.
There's nothing good about us,
right.
We do something 200 times, but that 201st we fuck up. You're terrible,
right?
God's got the worst win rate
ever.
If a quarterback has that kind of conversion rate on 3rd and 7, that fucker would be on the bench.
Not the bench. He wouldn't be allowed to be one of them people standing up in front of you in the stadium. You'd be like, you are such bad luck to this franchise. You are not allowed in the stadium. You're not allowed to watch this team on television.
They make you play lacrosse. If you had a 40%, if your conversion rate on 3rd and long was 30 to 40%, you'd be fired. If 4 out of every 10 times you can do it, back when I played in the 90s and the 80s, that was kind of okay. Nowadays, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, that's as good as gold. That's 1st and 10. If you're Drew Brees, you're like, fuck, this is the first down. What are you talking about? If you did that 4 out of 10 times in today's NFL, you would be fired.
Absolutely.
God has a 1 out of 1,000 in terms of 3rd down conversions.
Right.
And people say that is the greatest thing they've ever seen.
The greatest. Unbelievable. Yeah. Look, man, we shut this down. I know you gotta get some yard work done.
Yeah, I gotta get back out work. There.
This was hella fun. This was fun.
Always fun.
And look, man, we put Rebekah on your radar, so hopefully we'll see some Gin and Truth.
My next show is your fault, just so you know.
Appreciate you so much, Uncle Bobby. We'll be back next week, of course. And man, I just got to tell you, man, we love us some Gin and Truth. We watch every show every day. Much. And sometimes we are like thirsty. Like we'll literally be like, there's no new Gin and Truth yet. And we will go digging through the crates for videos from yesteryear just to have some Uncle Bobby while we wait for the new episode to drop. Sometimes I'm like, I need to hit this man up. Where's the new episode? We're waiting. Well, what are you doing?
I'm going to drop one tomorrow before I go to the game with my dad.
Nice.
I'm going to go work out. I'm going to come home. I'm going to drop a show, and then me and my dad are going to go watch baseball.
All right,
at Dish Falk. So there will be a show tomorrow, gang.
We will be looking forward to it. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Do all the YouTube things. Please like the video, share the channel, check out the links in the description. We'll see you next time.
Peace, gang.
Just gotta focus on yourself out here, y'all. Pay too much to the competition. Don't worry about what other people doing. Gotta trust your process. Worry about yourself, like I'm saying, man. Bigger than me, bigger than you. You know what I mean? If you know what you gotta do, then do it. You're always making excuses. We ain't got time for no excuses. You gotta get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't about that negativity, suggestions. Fuck all that shit, my nigga. Yeah.
No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you. Before we we pull up and embarrass you. No competition. I'm feeling so fabulous. And you niggas mad as shit. But it do not matter, kid. So what's the comparison? You niggas ain't zagging yet. Tell your homies stop gassing you. Before we pull up and embarrass you. Yeah.